What's going on, everybody? Noxie here. This one is not a vlog. We're starting off a brand new series talking about mental health. I am not an expert on mental health, but I do struggle with my personal mental health. My wife also struggles with mental health. My sister has struggled with mental health. Most of my family it's a huge theme, and with a lot of people, it's heavily stigmatized. So we're going to be talking about that quite a bit. We're going to kind of create our own little series discussing mental health and everything that kind of goes into it. I am going to try and get feedback from other people, experiences from other people who are willing to share, and have that go out onto a YouTube video. So I'll try and get a bunch of different perspectives. I will anonymize everyone except for myself. So anyone's experiences, it's just going to be anonymous. So if you do want to share your own perspective, your own mental health issues, your thoughts on mental health, reach out to me. Comment down below if you'd like. If you'd like me to reach out to you, and we can kind of, chart down some things, get your story if you want it out there. Like I said, it'll be all anonymous, so you don't have to worry about names being dropped. And just because I do reach out to you, you don't have to want your content out there or your story out there. If you just want to vent, if you just want to talk to someone, go ahead and let me know in the comments, and I'll be willing to respond. You can also join the Discord. It's a safe spot. I make sure it's a safe space for anyone with mental health issues because I struggle pretty heavily. I know many people who do struggle with mental health issues, so I want to make it as safe as possible. And it's not just for mental health. It is a safe spot for everyone. So it doesn't matter who you are. It will be seen as a safe haven for you. So you can join. No judgment at all. I keep a very close eye on anyone who's disrespectful, trolls, etc. They don't stay around long. So if you want to join the Discord, make sure you do that. Link will be in the description below. But this is going to be a pretty in-depth series, I think. I've struggled with mental health issues as long as I can remember, and I didn't speak about it very much. I think as a kid I thought it was just really normal, everything I was experiencing, and that's I just thought that's the way life is. But as I started to get older, I got into my teens. I've realized that not people aren't necessarily like this. They're not necessarily. Life isn't as hard for other people. I think is the phrase I'm looking for. It's not. Some people it's every day is easy, and uh, I I don't know what that's like. Uh, Anyone who doesn't struggle, you're also you're welcome to let us know your thoughts as well, your thoughts and feelings, uh, because I don't have this sense of normal, this the neurotypical normal. I've struggled with depression for the vast majority of my life, and I first started talking to someone and seeing a counselor. I was about 19 years old, and I was put on a medicine. I didn't like how it made me feel. I talked to the counselor for a little while, and then I just stopped. Everything, cold turkey. Don't do that. If you're on meds, talk to your doctor if you don't like them. Have them wean you down. What I did was not smart. I had in that time I had suicidal tendencies, a lot of suicidal ideations. I was heavily depressed for quite some time, and I had struggled with that throughout my 20s, and I didn't go see anyone. I gritted my teeth and bared down on it and just dealt with it. The problem is I didn't deal with it in a healthy way, and I turned to alcohol. And I started off drinking underage, like most people do. But as I got to, 21, 22, 23, I started drinking more and more regularly. Um, there wouldn't be a week that went by where I wouldn't have at least a couple of days of drinking, if not more. As I got into my mid 20s, I started turning into much more of a binge drinker. I take a couple of days off, and then I would just drink and drink and drink and drink and drink, and I'd stop for a couple of days, and then back at it. So this was my process for some time up until I moved to Los Angeles. At which point, very quickly, it became an everyday thing. I was drinking from the time I got home to the work till the time I passed out. And I would drink to get drunk and to pass out. I wouldn't, it wasn't social drinking. It was, I wanted to numb myself. I wanted to knock out. I didn't want to feel everything that was going on. Because everything was just so intense. The self-loathing, the self-hatred, uh, the ideations, the anxiety, the lack of motivation, lack of drive, not feeling like yourself. It really started to wear on me. So my drinking just continued to increase. Increased all the way up until last year, in which I've stopped drinking. At this point, I'm nearly 14 months, but that's not really where I'm going with this. So I was self-medicating with alcohol for the longest time. Now I'm not doing that, and I'm working with a therapist and a psychiatrist. I started last April working with one again, and this January I actually had to change everything because I had new insurance provider. Um, Unfortunately, my old counselor and old psychiatrist, they did not accept my new insurance. So I had to find someone completely new. Got a new psychiatrist and got a new therapist uh, in January. And my therapist I love. She's a godsend. Honestly, she's a wonderful soul. She's very empathetic. Great at listening. Great at acknowledging or trying to dig deeper to try and find and confirm how you're feeling. She doesn't like assuming things. She always has me, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is how I'm picking up on you feeling. Is that correct? And it'll either be a yes or a no or, kind of. And then I'll try and explain a little bit more. So this therapist, I've been very, very pleased with her. The psychiatrist I started out with, I did not like. Uh, it had, I had talked to her about ideations and past attempts. I've had several past attempts, including last April, one last summer, um, and then heavy ideations in the fall. Um, but her response was, just don't do anything stupid, okay? Your wife needs you. Just don't do anything stupid. And I was really taken aback by that. And this was probably our fourth, maybe fifth meeting. And I was already on an alcohol withdrawal drug called naltrexone. She was unable to prescribe that because she doesn't have an ex-DEA, and I needed another psychiatrist who would be able to prescribe that. And she continued my prescription of fluoxetine. So I had been on those for quite some time. Naltrexone since last April, fluoxetine since I want to say about July, August of last year. So I've been on them for a while. I'm pretty well acclimated. So I just that's all I really needed a psychiatrist for. But as soon as she said this, I don't know. It it was hurtful. Honestly, it was for those who deal with ideations, you and I both know you can't control them all the time. You can try and ground yourself. You can try and make yourself more present to try and block them out, to try and refocus your energy on something else. But when they're really intrusive, um, there's really not much you can do. And so I was really alarmed and kind of uh, hurt when she had said, don't do anything stupid. Your wife really needs you, as if I don't know that. Um, my wife at the time was in grad school and working on classes. She's obviously graduated now, but uh, yeah, just because I have those ideations doesn't mean the intent is there. Doesn't mean the planning is there. And for those of you who have had ideations, there's many, many steps to the whole process. It's not just, oh, I hate life, I'm just going to go kill myself, and then the first thing that comes to mind. It's that's for those of you who don't know, that's not at all how it works. So hearing something like this, it's like, all right, one, I can't really control my ideations. So saying it's stupid, don't do something stupid, is in turn telling me that the way I am feeling, these ideations that I have no control over at the current situation, are stupid. Um, don't ever, anyone dealing with mental health issues, anyone in general, don't tell them what they're feeling is stupid. It's every whatever anyone's feeling, it's completely valid for some reason or another. They don't have to tell you why they're feeling some particular way. Respect their boundaries. Don't push that. I tend to be a more open person, and I'm a little bit more willing to share. Sometimes I'm not, but I feel a compulsory need to share anyways, and that's something I'm working on. I find doing something like this is actually very helpful and therapeutic. Um, so when I got my new psychiatrist, I kind of told her my impression, and she wanted to file a complaint on my behalf. Now, I told her, I can tell because she had an accent that was foreign to the United States, there's going to be cultural differences. Guaranteed. Within the United States, there's cultural differences. So I certainly don't think there was any malicious intent behind what was said. And I didn't want her getting in any kind of trouble or anything like that with, the company that hires these therapists and psychiatrists. That's not my goal. However, making her more aware of the connotations as towards what she said and the impact that they can have on someone who is suicidal or who has these suicidal ideations, it's something that she needs to be much more mindful of, regardless of culture, because this is something that affects so many people, regardless of culture. It doesn't matter what your culture is, who you are, where you come from. You're going to know, or you likely know, someone who struggles with their mental health. So I really wanted to, create this series and really, really dive into it, partially because I've received some requests for it, and because I've joined a support community specifically for my personal mental health issue. This new psychiatrist that I started working with has diagnosed me as bipolar 2. For those who are scared of it, there's really nothing to be afraid of if you don't deal with it. It's heavily stigmatized, and it's a shame. Bipolar 2, and it's different for everyone. So I can only express my perspective. That's all I can ever do, unless someone shares their story with me and says, you know what, Noxie, I want to share my story with you because I want to share it with others. In which case, all right, I will make a video of it. But bipolar 2 is the idea of highs and lows. And it's just this cycle, right? It's highs and lows. And the highs, typically, I have a lot of energy. I sleep even less than usual, but I'm incredibly happy. And I'm incredibly motivated. And I get a lot done. I start a lot of tasks. I don't finish them all, but I tend to be very motivated towards doing what I like. I also, I tend to get very little sleep. When I'm in a hypomanic episode, when I'm really high, I'm getting a couple hours of sleep a night, and I don't feel the need for any more. And I've cut out caffeine in my life, and I only drink a little bit of sugar. So at this point, it's mostly water, and I'm energized. And my most recent one lasted over a week. I'm not sure exactly where I am now. I thought I was crashing last night. I don't really have a ton of energy. I was super low earlier with ideations, and today now I'm feeling a little bit more balanced. Energy's picking up a little bit, it's confusing. Bipolar 2 is confusing as hell for anyone who's living with it. I have no idea what's going on. I need to talk to my psychiatrist and my therapist about it. And a big part of it for me is journaling, logging my moods, what's going on in the day and how I'm feeling. Everything I can think of, putting it on paper so I can share it so that we can figure out what's going on and where I am in terms of my mental state. Um, Balance is the goal. Sure, there's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days, but it's how you handle those good and bad days. If the good days aren't super high energy, it's likely just a good day. If the bad days, there's a couple ideations, but I can push them away, and they're mostly just passive thoughts, um, and I can refocus pretty easy. It's not a. It might be a rougher day, but it's not a bad day. It's something I can pull myself out of, most likely. Um, the lows are scary. Um, they are they're really scary. They're painful. They're agonizing. Um, my lows are 24/7, either suicidal ideations or praying not to wake up in the morning, praying just to pass in the morning. And it sounds dark because it is. Um, and no matter what I try and do, I have exercises where I'm gonna hold something and try and discover, without looking at it, just try and discover something new. And while I'm doing it, the idea is to refocus anytime an ideation comes in. When I'm really low, no matter what I'm doing, I find pleasure in nothing. I can't distract myself. I am just a mess and I just want to sleep. I'm an insomniac, so I don't get great sleep as it is. So when I'm low, I'm usually laying around. I'm not interacting with anyone. I'm not socializing with anyone. I withdraw from everyone, my wife included, my family, everyone. I don't want to talk. I don't want to watch anything. I don't. It's just this is every day now. This is just what life is, and it sucks. And that's where I am mentally on those lows. Today, I think I might be at a balance point, kind of, because I've had these fluctuations throughout the day, but I don't know. And I have a psychiatrist appointment tomorrow. I'm going to go in depth with her on this. So that's so far my experience with bipolar 2. And I've only had a recent diagnosis. So everything's still new to me. I'm still trying to get explanations. I'm still trying to understand and lose the confusion. And I've been working on that through a support community on Discord, a bipolar 2 specific support community, and by working very closely with my therapist and psychiatrist, um, and being as upfront and honest about everything I can. Anything I can think of, I want to let them know because I want their feedback. I want to know what the hell is going on with my body and my brain because I don't understand it. And so much of the time, it's just scary, truly scary. I can be riding a high and suddenly the anxiety starts kicking in and I start wondering when I'm gonna crash, knowing that a crash is pretty much inevitable and not wanting to go to just being terrified to go to that dark place. And I've spent a lot of the past couple of days in that mental state where I've got the high energy, but I'm petrified of crashing because I know what those crashes are. Anyone who deals with bipolar 2 knows what those crashes are and how debilitating they are. And it's if you've never struggled, it's very hard to understand. Um, for those for those of you who have different experiences, I'd love to hear them. Even if you don't want me to share them, I'd love to hear them. Um, but that's my perspective. I'll gain more perspectives over time, and for those willing to share, I will share them. If not, I'll just continue to learn and then share my experiences. But I think that's going to wrap it up for the first one in this series. Appreciate everyone watching this. This is a pretty important topic that I'm quite enthusiastic about it. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, make sure you drop them below. I will get back to everyone, especially on this topic, because it is very, very important to me. And then to keep up with this series or any of my series, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll post all my socials in the description below. Check those out. I'm very active, specifically on Twitter and Discord. So if you have questions, comments, concerns, you can come to me there. If you want to share stories, you can do so in those spaces. Like I said, my Discord is a safe space, so uh, you don't have to worry about that. I manage kind of a tight ship there, so would love to hear from everyone. Like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up with this entire series and then all my vlogs and other content that I'm doing. Until the next time, Maxi out.